It was, yeah, let's talk about the F word.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Ended up being about fear.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Why did you make that video?
Oh man, I think so much of us, um, we're just driven by fear. It really takes over our bodies, it takes over our minds, it takes over our thoughts. Um, we make decisions based on that, either to move forward or not move forward, mostly not to move forward.
Mm.
And I just want to get, I just want to get people's attention. So, I think it's the F word that most deal with on a daily basis, and it's not what you think. So, yeah, it's a four-letter
Hmm.
word, man. It's fear just drives us to make wrong decisions
Hmm.
and to stay put.
Mm. Give me an example in your life. Like, so where do you think? Because obviously you learned this lesson and you're sharing this lesson. So, tell me more about kind of the fears that you were able to conquer. I guess we can never always conquer all our fears, right? But the major ones.
No, it's a constant battle, right? It's part of life. It's something we can't escape or avoid. Um, I think probably the biggest lesson I learned when it comes to fear, I mean, goes back to, and I think this is the reason why I've been doing these videos recently,
Mm.
and putting myself out there, was, a really tough breakup I went through 2 years ago. And, at the time, I didn't think it was fear that was holding me back. I didn't think it was fear that was driving all these thoughts and these beliefs, that, my life is over now, right?
Mm.
How do I get
Hmm.
over this? Am I afraid of the unknown? Am I afraid to be alone? Am I afraid that maybe
Mm.
I'm the issue? I'm the problem? So I think we, like a child, and we can talk about this later.
Hmm.
I know you've talked about this in the past about shadow
Hmm.
work, and I
Hmm.
know Brandon talked about the inner child just recently.
Yep.
Um, th-
Fire video, baby.
yep. I
He's on
mean,
the 100-day challenge to make 100 videos. He's doing the 100-day challenge. Yeah.
I'm
oh,
on
good
day
luck with
4 or 5. Yeah.
but who's
You
counting,
skip
right?
but you skipped a few days. You can't skip it anymore, bro. We need
That's why I'm
100
at day
sequential.
that's why I'm at day 3 or 4 again.
Either 3 or 4. We have to reset.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. But continue. I'm sorry,
No,
Ricardo.
no, it's fine.
Hmm.
It's it, it I think the fear factor just, it gets mixed up with a lot of these mixed signals that we get, right? There's without rehashing cliches,
Hmm.
but I always thought a cliche is just a tried and proven, tested and proven, truth that's
Mm.
been going on for a long time. That's what
Mm.
makes it a cliche.
Give me an example
Um,
of a cliche that you like.
oh man, one that I had a hard time wrapping my head around for years was, let it go, let God, right?
Let go.
You, you hear that, but like, what does that really mean? How do you
Right.
do that?
Right.
How do you do that? Like,
It's
especially,
surrendering. It's the same idea as surrendering, right? Letting go.
right. But
Hmm.
even surrendering, like when you're in it, when you're in that storm, and then you're hearing all these voices, whether it's friends, whether it's a therapist, whether it's all these life coaches,
Hmm.
um, it always boils down to that, like letting go, releasing. But getting to that point is not easy, and it takes, obviously, yeah. Everyone can say, yeah, with time, everything, your wounds heal,
Mm.
or and I think, and this is something you and I discussed, in the last week or two, was I think for men, I mean, this applies to both men and women, but I think men just have this notion. I think we're a little bit lost in this space right now, where, you know, we're trying to hold on to these emotions. We've got these emotions, but I think society tells us, as a man, you need to be hard about it. You need to, get past this, move on, right? Be stoic. Well, yeah, in principle, that's what we should do. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. But it's getting to that point. I mean, I think a lot of men are worried that, a lot of these things and these tools that are out there are, a little bit too woo-woo.
Or gay.
Yeah. Whatever.
Or too feminine, right? Yeah,
exactly. So
Yeah.
I think they're a little bit afraid. I mean, I've attended yoga classes.
You attend yoga classes, man?
I did.
Wow.
I grew up playing hockey and skiing. I'm originally from Canada, so yoga to me was I think there's a stereotype, and I think it's changing. But in any yoga class I've been in, I mean, we were like
90% women. 90%
exactly,
women.
exactly. And some of my
Cisco, good place to meet women. Yoga class.
well, that I was just going to say that. Like some of my guy friends were just like, "Dude, that's a good thing, man. That's good. So you're going there to meet chicks?" I'm like, "No." It's like, "What do you mean?" Like, "No, I'm actually going there to like heal. I'm actually going there to like, I don't know, improve my body, improve my mind." And I saw the benefits. I really did. But it's a matter of being open to these things. And I think a lot of us are just closed off to it. Maybe we're afraid, going back to the fear factor, how are we going to be judged? What will people think? Will my guy friends, think? I'm not going to tell them. We'll have a few beers. I'm not going to bring up, I did downward sitting dog or
Right. What about now? You're on live session now. You're telling the whole world, so you don't have a problem telling everybody now, huh?
No, I don't. I really don't.
When did that stop, though? When did you stop giving a shit? When,
This
literally?
is like the book you just told me about, man.
Which one?
He's like in that non-needy, like his self-worth,
Tell us what you learned. Tell us, because I want Ricardo to hear.
Have you read Mark Manson's Models, the book?
I've heard of it. Yes.
It was just the neediness, which is like you do things because you seek others' approval of yourself. So you just do behaviors so that they want you, need you. But he's like, no, you should have your self-worth where you have your opinion about yourself. And then you start being vulnerable and being honest, that it gives someone the option, accept me or reject me. That's like, that's the gift of truth. Because now you are completely authentic. And if it repels people, you are okay. Like you don't So I was like, holy shit, what
that's mind-blowing, bro. I recommended this book to this guy.
And
I've been telling him to read this book for 1 whole year. And then finally, you know why he starts reading it? Because he has girl problems. He has girl problems. So
it always comes down to that, doesn't it?
And I was
like, always comes down to that.
Redirect. But I just was seeing a recent video where you were saying, why couldn't I love me like I love them? Like towards the end of your video, and I was like, damn. And like that's what I felt like the Models book was like talking about.
Wow.
Well,
go ahead.
Yeah. I had that video in like as a draft for probably about 3 weeks before I just said, you know what, F it. I'm just going to put it out there. Because it's really that, like when we think, and again, I don't want to just, toss women aside like they don't do this. But I think as men, we often feel that, we have to play the role of provider. We have to be the one leading the relationship. And, it's a two-way street. It's teamwork. But, at a certain point, you feel like the more you love, and depending on the person you're with, right? I don't want to throw, my ex under the bus here. I mean, again, like I said earlier, it's a two-way street. But you put so much energy into somebody, into a relationship, and try to make it work. And you often do that when it's not, when you're feeling, this is a flag. Whether it's a red flag or an orange flag, it's a flag. You're not getting that reciprocity, right? You're not feeling it. So you you either, there's two things you can do. There's actually a third, but the two easy ones are, I'm just going to give more. I'm going to give more. I'm going to show up more. I'm going to just keep giving and giving and giving. But the more you do that, the more you're abandoning yourself. Because again, depending on the person you're with, if you're not getting that appreciation, you're not getting that recognition, again, it's 50-50. It won't always be 50-50. There are times where it's going to be 80-20. There's times where it's going to be 60-40. At the end of the day, it needs to bottle down to at least, some sort of 50-50, 45-55. But in that process, you lose yourself. Like you lose your identity. You get so intertwined with this mission that you're on that there's no way I love this person, especially after several years. You again, maybe this is a fear thing that you don't want to have to start over. You've chosen this person. You've chosen this life. So I'm going to make this work. God damn it, I'm going to make it work. Right? But again, it takes a really strong mindset to just set a boundary. I think the other thing that I mentioned earlier, the two ways you can do this is either give more or just completely pull away. I think there's an in-between where you need to just refocus on yourself and realize what the hell's going on.
Ricardo, can you say "God damn it" again?
God damn it!
It sounds Canadian, right? You heard Canadian?
Here, wait. I'll make it even more Canadian. God damn it, eh?
Yeah, there we go.
Is that better?
Yeah, much better. Yeah. But what were we talking about? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brandon. I think you wanted to say
about that
something.
video.
Yeah, no, Ricardo, hey, thank you for joining us first off, man. And man, props to you for showing up at 2 a.m. It's 2 a.m. there. This guy's in Italy. It's 2 a.m. and here he is. Thank you so much for being here.
He looks like he just got out of bed, right?
You have no idea how much coffee I've consumed today.
Extremely handsome guy, super deep dude. I'm loving your videos, bro. Thank you for doing what you do. And no, you've been saying so much stuff. I'm just like, yep. Just totally on the same level with you here, as far as like, agreeing with everything. I feel what you're saying, and I've experienced this, and I love that we're opening this space up, men talking to men, because I feel like that's the missing thing here. And I think one of the biggest problems with men is, we're kind of islands. Women are a lot better at networking together and communicating and having groups. Guys can have it, but they break apart easily. Sometimes they're just not as good at it. And so I think that's one of the key ingredients that could help unfuck men. I think that one of the biggest problems right now is that, there's a crisis with men. That June is also Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. And I think it's like 100 men kill themselves every.
Yes.
Well, it's like 40,000 men a year kill themselves in the United States. I mean, it's insane.
I did not know that. I did not know. Wow.
It's an insane amount. Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy, right? And so so this is how we heal this, right? And so and I agree with you, one of the things that helps me a lot too is I don't have to believe all of my thoughts, right? And I think that's one of the traps and loops that men get stuck in. They get in their heads, they start thinking about stuff like you said, we're trying to be providers, we're trying to do all the things in a relationship. And when you were saying that, I was agreeing, I've been in those relationships, right? And it feels like it's like a supply glut with an oil market. Sometimes oil will the price will go low, and then they'll pump even more, and then the price will go lower. So they pump even more. It's kind of like that. You just provide more and more, and the price of the value of the relationship keeps getting lower, right? And so, but you said, and you don't want to just be an avoidant. You don't want to just be indifferent and be like, I'm out. Right? If you want to save the relationship. And so there's an in-between. And I'm totally understand what you mean. And that's why, the men that I talk to and that I counsel, usually younger men, I tell them hey man, you got to go into yourself, right? And we can help each other and guide each other through that. And one of those things, and I'm in a relationship with a woman. I've been in a relationship now for a couple of years, and it's a two-way street, and it's a lot of work. And one of the things that I've established is look, if things get heated, I need to take a little bit of space. Like I'm not being avoidant, but I reserve the right every time if things get real heated and voices get raised, I'm going to remove myself from the situation because as a man, I can't think very well when I'm in lizard brain, right? I call it lizard brain. It's like the fight or flight. Like I got to get away from the situation because if you're forcing me to make a decision, it's not going to be good, right? I'm going to say something bad or I'm going to do something stupid, right? And so the first thing is like I think with guys is they gotta give themselves permission to remove themselves from the situation. You're not being weak when you're doing that. You're kind of retreating into solitude so you can access that higher level of your brain and that better reasoning, right? And then it's like, and then I can analyze my thoughts and be like, you know what? Not all of these I don't have to give all of these a story. None of these are absolute truths just because I'm thinking them. And sometimes it's good to have guys like us that we can bounce the stuff off of. Like, hey, bro, this is what's going through my head right now. I need a sanity check. You know what I mean? And then I can come back to the situation grounded and in a better place to like resolution, right? But that's the important thing is like you got to come back to the situation, right? A lot of times guys will remove themselves, they'll do the first part right, but then they'll just never return to that issue and sweep it under the rug. And that's one of the things that ended my marriage is like we just kept having disagreements. I'd be like, hey, I'm out for a little while. And then I would never come back and revisit it. And we just kept sweeping things under the rug. And then every time we'd get into a stupid little argument, it would blow out of proportion. It's like, well, why are we so upset about this? It's because we never returned and fixed all the things. You know?
Yep.
Anyway,
it's suppression. Like, you know, we're suppressing these things because we think, you know, again, avoiding them and depending on the voices you have around you. Like, I'll be honest,
right.
You know, I've had some guy friends just tell me, you know, when the shit hit the fan of like, you got to get back out there. You got to go get laid. And I'm like, excuse me? Like, yeah, that's going to be like, that's your best therapy. Like F going to therapy, F going to like psychology. That's going to be like, buddy, that might work for you, which I really don't think it will because you're just very good at suppressing it. It's not a moment of like whatever, you know, that's escapism, you know, dressed up as like fear and avoidance. You know, I actually did the work.
It's like a drug. It's like you can use sex as a drug.
It's that dopamine. It's that dopamine rush, right? And
exactly.
You know, as much as I'm not afraid to admit, like I've gone to yoga, but I've also, you know, when this was getting a little bit out of hand, I went to a psychologist, you know, and then I didn't feel like that was connecting. And whoever's listening, like I think just it's important to seek help if you can. But as I told you, you know, Bruno, it's not everybody has access to that. Like it can be expensive, right? Not everybody has insurance that covers that, or it. So, I mean, we tend to look at, you know, whatever, listen to our buddies, watch videos, listen to these coaches online. It's a big thing right now, like self-help. And, you know, I for me, that wasn't like, I understood the concept, but it just wasn't materializing. Like it just, until somebody referred me to more of a holistic therapist, where we did a lot of that, you know, inner child work, where we're like, okay, we need to go back, like again, to that fear. What was it in your childhood that might have triggered this anxiety that you have? Right. You know, like I think all of our attachment issues that we have, whether it be with, you know, in a relationship, at work, with friends, whatever the case may be, I think it does go back to early childhood. And it doesn't always have to be like childhood trauma does not always have to be, you know, the typical story of an abusive father, an alcoholic.
It's so important
like,
what you're saying.
It might not be that.
Right, because even in our voicemails to each other, Ricardo, I felt like you were hedging. You were like, oh no, but I didn't have any crazy trauma, you know, and so I had to address some trauma. You know, you're minimizing the trauma, and I made a video about this.
Yes.
Because I think people do, like, when I look back, I told this in Vibe Sesh number 6. My thing was, I'm trying to figure out, why do I have this performance anxiety? Why have I always been afraid of pulling the trigger. And like on Vibe Sesh 6, I remembered a really traumatic experience at a dance, right? Where my mom made me dance. I was in a costume and I was making, she made me dance with a girl. And then I didn't want to. And I still remember that story. And I remember the look in her face. It was like just of shame and disappointment, right? But mom didn't know better, but she was just so embarrassed of me at that time. I felt it. Or maybe I was imagining things, but that's how I felt it, right? And then like, I'm thinking that it was kind of traumatic, even telling you, like, I see her face. You know what I mean? But I wasn't abused. I had two parents. I
Yeah.
had a great life, a blessed life, but I was still traumatized by that. I'm sure it was like a cluster of things that ended where that was the memory, right? But something happened during that period. And I'm pretty sure it had something to do with some of the problems that I have now, right? So,
Well,
yeah.
that's such a good point, because even the therapist told me, and this is what hit home for me. She's like, here you are. Like, I go back to when I was 5 or 6 years old. My dad left. My dad left my mom. He ended up coming back like 9, 10 months later. But I
Mm.
do remember how that felt, because I was always a little bit closer to my dad. He was more the fun one. My mom was a teacher. She was more of the, I don't know, disciplinarian. My dad brought me skiing. My dad brought me to hockey practice. And he, for an Italian, that's not his sport. And so when he left, you don't know this as a child. And what the therapist was telling me is like, here you are, this little child with these little tools. Like just that visual when she told me
Mm.
this, here are with these little tools, right?
Right.
Dealing with adult problems. You can't. Like it just and again, if like I think that I've always been an overthinker, I've always been an overfeeler, and as much as that's played against me, I'm proud of it. Like I feel
Mm. Mm.
like I'm okay with that. Um, but once I've realized that, it's just I did many years of campus recruiting. Like my background's in human resources and recruiting. So I did a good 10 years of campus recruiting, university recruiting, for accounting firms.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I'd always tell students in these seminars and these conferences that I would speak to them was, you know, try and add as many tools to your tool bag as possible,
Mm.
as young as you are, so that later in life you can pick and choose the tools that you prefer. Like depending on the task at hand, you've got the tools to handle them. And then you could specialize. It was the same thing like with my breakup. These are things you're not taught in school. We're taught trigonometry, which I haven't used. I don't know about you guys, but no one teaches you about like
No.
mindfulness. No one
It's
teaches you how
crazy.
to
It's
deal with
crazy.
this stuff. So here
It's
you are as
crazy.
an adult, you get this huge shock, this huge sort of, betrayal of trust. You don't see it coming. It sideswipes you. The old adage, the old cliche of, you get stabbed in the back, you turn around, and then you realize who's holding the knife, right? That floored me. So, all these different tools that are out there, the podcasts, all these coaches,
Mm.
um, they're helpful. Don't get me wrong. The therapy, the psychology, the books.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But so you've got all these tools in front of you. So, okay, am I supposed to repair or am I supposed to build with these tools?
Mm. Mm.
And you just don't know. Like I've got these tools. I understand the concept, but applying them is a whole different story. And there's a wake up call at a certain point where you just realize I don't want to be in this shit anymore. Like, I had a dark moment, like the darkest moment. Like and it
Dark night of the
honestly,
soul.
yep. Where, and it was, these dark thoughts came to me, and never, ever in my life had I thought this would ever happen. Like, and that's, and lucky I had somebody who guided me through it.
Who was that? Your
And
friend or what?
It was a friend. It was a friend who was a psychologist, and she also practiced shamanism. So she did a guided meditation over the phone with me, and it totally just grounded me back. It just brought me back. And in the next few hours, the next few days, I kept thinking, this is bad. Like, and you start getting a bit embarrassed that you've gone there. And it's not a bad thing. Like I don't want to minimize myself or be self-deprecating. But when you realize you've, at least in my case, everyone has their own rock bottom. In my case, that was rock bottom. And I'm like, I'm letting this do this to me. Like, this has to stop. Like, you can listen to all these voices and instructions and therapies, but if you don't apply them, if you don't answer that call one day and turn that freaking page, you're just going to get stuck. You're just going to get stuck. And I'm grateful, and it's one of the reasons why, in the last several months, I've wanted to share this openly with people. I just thought I've had so many positive influences in my life that got me through it, and most of them were strangers. Some were really good friends.
Wow.
That I just wanted to, I don't know, help people. Just pay it forward.
And you connected with all these people online, right? A lot of online.
Yeah, I mean, there's somebody just recently, based on a video, a beautiful soul, and it's just based on what I posted, and she's been a beacon, because I think we're all going through stuff. Brian, it's like what you said, recently. Nobody knows what the hell we're doing. We're just trying to figure it out as we go, right?
That was a good video too, bro.
That was a really good video. I had to write down what she told me just recently. Like, it's just, it hit me. And this is not a guru. This is not a life coach. It's somebody who's done the work. It's somebody who's gone through, I think, a hard time in her life. She said, the more pain I experience in life, the more I really understand how it's the only way to grow strength and resilience, as awfully cliche as that sounds. And I don't want to be afraid. So I'm really doing mental gymnastics to steer in the other direction. She goes on to say, if I can get flexible in my body, she's also a yoga instructor. If I can get flexible in my body, it's only a matter of practice for the mind as well. And she ends it with, I hope. She ends it with, I hope. And you know what? That's it right there. Like, if you are willing to do the work, and it's a matter of belief, and it's a matter of still holding on to that hope, because there is no magic formula. And it's just a constant thing. Healing is linear. It's not linear. Healing is not linear. It's just, like, there are days, I had like a streak of days where I'm like, I'm over this. Like, I can remember last year, I'm over this. When I came to Italy, last year, I'm like, I'm here now. Like, this is good. This is my new life. And then, a little trigger. You see a couple, Italy's quite romantic. You get influenced by that. And then, the brain, programmed the way it is, just brings you back. And then you feel like you've taken steps back, but it's all part of the process.
I think you mentioned some stuff that, like, she was saying too, and it's been my experience as well that I can relate to. I think a really good thing for anybody, and she just highlighted that, is like, if you're in a low state, if you're in a depressive state, if you've gone through a big thing, have some sort of physical thing that you do in your body that helps you generate movement, right? And so for me, like, I'm like 3 years into a divorce process. Never thought of rock climbing ever in my freaking life. I would have been like, no way. I would have.
Really?
Dude, yeah, never once thought about it.
Heard this story. I never
once thought about it. And then
Okay.
3 years ago, like when the separation happened, like I had to find something, and I stumbled into rock climbing and became absolutely obsessed with it. And like I climb 3 days a week, and it's such a powerful thing, and it's a lot like yoga, right? Rock climbing and yoga are very similar, actually. You have to contort your body, especially bouldering, to get into really weird positions to make the climb when you get into higher level climbs like V7 or higher. And so, and it gives you like a sense of direction, and it gives you a sense of accomplishment, and you see yourself progress, and it just starts to build movement. And I think like I'm a big proponent of like, you know, I'm not trying to like preach or anything like that, but I think good nutrition too, right? So if the two things,
Yes.
man, that you have control over is just, you know, feed yourself good macros and get into some kind of a physical thing will really help create some physical movement to help with the mental stuff. But then you do need somebody to talk to, like you were saying, but then you're in a better mind space to go into this like inner world of like figuring out most people, I don't think they've even really met themselves, you know?
No.
And I
True.
and I
What
True.
does
and I
that mean?
see
What does that mean,
True.
well
bro? What
So
does that
true.
mean?
well
Explain more.
and I've said this before, but you know, and I'm not like picking on anybody. I've certainly done this myself, but I think people hide out in relationships because they're avoiding
Mm.
themselves, right? So there's something lacking inside themselves, and they'll find something that they're attracted to in somebody, and it's something that's missing in them, and then they'll
Yep.
try to get that from them, and then it won't work out because they're kind of like a vampire, and then they'll keep repeating those cycles, right? And then when they break up, maybe they'll spend a little bit of time and get a little bit of clarity, and they'll be like, oh, I'm good, I'm ready for a relationship again. It's like, maybe take take a
A
little
little
bit
bit more
more
time.
time,
Just a
you know, a
little.
little bit
Yeah.
more
You
time to
know?
really peel back the
Yeah.
layers, right? And
Yeah.
figure out
Yeah.
like, is this voice in my head even who I am? Like, it's
Yeah.
not. You know, like
Yeah.
that's just a bullshit narrator. Like, and then
Yep.
like I've talked to Bruno
We're
about this, and
going
I feel
deep.
like, yeah,
We're
like
going
when you
so
peel
deep
off
tonight.
all the layers, right? You peel off all the layers. And this is a good thing to do after you've had a really big breakup, or you lost a job, or a big part of your identity got just thrown in the trash can. It's a good time to go deep and then figure out like, because that happened to me where like all of my identity went away from losing a marriage and losing a job all at the same time. And it was like, well, if all that wasn't me because it could go away as soon as somebody wanted to exit a relationship, well, then who the hell am I, right? And so, you know what I mean? Like that wasn't me, right? So then it's like, well, who am I? And then I'm listening to this voice talking shit to me, and I'm like, that's not even me. That's just this narrator that's a collection of people that influenced me over the years. And so keep going, keep going, keep going. And then what I found was like, I think at the core of us, maybe not true narcissists would be the only exception, but I think at the core of 99% of us is just love. It's just love.
Mm.
If you can get down to that essence of
Mm.
who people are, man, you know, when you see like true altruism in the world, you
Mm.
know, it's like that essence of them. It's like we're just true love. And if anyway, I feel like I went down a little bit of a rabbit hole there, but I don't even remember what we
That
started
was a
talking
rip
That's, I
right
love
there.
it.
Some Clip this city right here. That was
about.
Clip City right here.
You
Wow.
climbed that mountain. You brought us to the summit, man. You brought
Yeah,
us to the
you
summit
Yeah.
with that.
that's
It's
something.
like the view's pretty good. The view's
Yeah.
pretty
Damn.
good.
Well, thanks.
That was
But
amazing, bro.
But
Yeah.
but yeah, I think people would do a little bit better if they would do a little bit more exploring themselves, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah. But
well,
Brandon,
taking the
let's talk.
taking the time to
Mhm.
be with yourself.
Mm.
Like I think
Yes.
people are just afraid to be with themselves. I think there's a
Yes.
fear that they don't want to like admit. Like I can't be
Yeah.
alone with my thoughts. I just can't.
Right.
Like I'm just gonna go
Right.
Mm.
crazy. I
Mm.
need that connection. I need
Bro,
somebody.
you know
It's
what,
that
Ricardo?
distraction.
You made that video about being alone. Being alone is a superpower, you said,
Yep.
right? And you know
Yep.
what's so interesting about that? Those videos do very well. I did something about being alone as well because I truly believe that, right? I do believe it's a superpower. But what I noticed from my comments though, I didn't feel like they were coming from that point of view. They're more just like, I'd rather stay home, watch Netflix and be alone. You know, so you have that component and you can see people say, yeah, I hate people. You know, I'd rather be alone. Yeah, superpower, right? And but that's not
That's
what I mean, right? So
no,
I think
no.
that's why
I
these
know.
videos are doing better than they should actually, because a lot of people are, oh yeah, they want someone to say, yeah, being alone is a superpower, but it's not that, right? So yeah, tell me about your video.
no, I didn't even expect that video to like
Right.
go, in the way it went. Like I really didn't. Like it's not even the video I'm the most proud
Right.
of.
So doesn't
Like
that
it's
make you
like
think like
like I
what's
don't
going
I
on?
don't get it.
Yeah.
Like for me, it's not a big deal. Like I go to a restaurant by myself. For me, that's not a big deal. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't realize how for a lot of people it's a huge
Mm-hmm.
deal.
Wait a
Like,
moment. So it was
li-
never a big deal for you, or you learned to not make it a big deal?
good point, Bruno. Good point. I pushed myself. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
well, wait a second. I like going to restaurants. I like food.
Mm-hmm.
I like eating. Why am I holding back? Why? Because I'm afraid to be judged. Like someone's like, who's this guy? And honestly, I had a few comments, and I think from women, and I think it's very legitimate. I think a lot of women are maybe a little bit more fearful of what that gives off. I get that. Like I didn't think about that early on, but
Mm-hmm.
it does make sense. But to me, it was, and video just doesn't talk about that. I go on and talk about like if you can move houses by yourself, if you can, move continents by yourself. Like that's a big one.
Mm-hmm.
And I get that. Like I've had a lot of people tell me, "Wow, you're brave." Like you went like I'm of Italian origin, so yes, it makes it a little easier that I have that in my blood. I already have a good base of Italian. I speak it decently.
Mm-hmm.
I'm improving it while I'm here, taking taking classes. It's like I've gone back like
Why did
25
you
years.
laugh? Why did you laugh right
Um,
there? Interesting.
but
Cisco, you saw that?
yeah, but
Yeah. Why did you laugh? Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's just I think I'm enjoying my life right now because it's so different, and I'm reconnecting to parts of me that I think that was always there. It's always there. Like
Stripping.
it's
Yeah,
like
it's always there.
why like someone asked me why Italy. Like I get it,
Mm-hmm.
you're of Italian family, your dad, your
Mm-hmm.
mom, your dad was born in Italy,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. But I was born in Montreal. I grew up in Canada. I lived the Canadian
Mm-hmm.
life. Yeah, sure. We come to Italy from time to time to see family. But I chose a place where I have no family.
Mm-hmm.
Like I chose a place where I knew no one. It just somehow like it just felt like home. Like there was a soul calling. And I'm not saying it's forever. At least in this area, I know I don't want to go back to Canada. Like I have a hard time now saying going back home because I don't feel that's home. Like it's like, are you planning on going back home? Like, but I am home. Well, what do you mean?
Wow. So it feels like home now for you.
It feels like home. Like I did this thing. I took time off. I was able to just come here and explore and where would I want to live. I mean, it was I've told this to really close friends. It was an epiphany I had one morning. Like, the house was for sale. Back outside Montreal, close to the Vermont border. I'm outside, 7:30 in the morning, drinking my coffee in the sun, and it just hit me. And I had started looking at buying another house, maybe getting an apartment. Like I was just going to. Like, I just felt like I did a video on like being stuck in a hamster wheel. That's exactly how I felt. Like it's like I'm recycling. Okay, so this didn't work out. So let me go back and try the same thing again. In the same place, and I'm thinking, well, wait a second. Like I've been watching all these damn videos from Stanley Tucci about like Italy and food. I'm thinking, and I love it. Why not that? Why not like shake it up? Let's shake it up. And when I tried it, man, it was like, and I worked remote from here for like I came here for 3 months, and the last month I worked from here. That was my favorite month. The month I was actually working and living here because it felt like real life. You didn't feel like a tourist. And when I got back to Canada, that's all I could think about. Like, how do I get back there? How do I make this happen? This is where I feel my next chapter, let alone chapter, my next book.
Wow.
This is where I want to be. This is where I feel at my best. I had a therapist, the psychologist I was seeing first, like, she told me, like, just be careful you're not distracting yourself. And see, this is where I got
That's a good one.
off. That's where I got off. Like, Brandon, you're talking about, like, you know, get into activities, push yourself, do things, right, that are a little bit different. Like, yeah, you can see that as a distraction, but you know what? It's something to put your mind and your focus and your energy on. That's not that. That's not like your past. That's not what's bringing you down all the time.
Rock climbing saved my life. I was in a hole, and it gave me everything I needed, you know? Yeah.
And that's proof right there. Like, you know, call it what you want, distraction, you know, escapism, but these things work. Like, these things work.
Ricardo, let's talk about synchronicities, because you seem to talk a lot about that in different videos about, you know, synchronicities and things that are meant to be. So and you told me, like, you're into manifestation and Wayne Dyer and all that. So why are we here right now? How do me and you meet? Tell us more about the synchronicities that led us to this moment here on Vibe Sesh. What do you think?
I'm going to tell you the honest truth. About a year and a half, well, yeah, a little over a year ago, I had this idea of writing a book, a children's book. And it's not solely based on my experience, my recent experience, but it was something about, you know, the search for self. And, you know, I started writing, and I went to bed one night thinking, I visualize myself being on a podcast. I'm not doing this here, but I will come back and I will promote the book right here. Okay. But I thought I saw myself on a podcast, and the person interviewing me saying, I just love this book. Right. And like, there's been moments in my life where manifestation just slapped me right in the face and said, it works, man. Like, this is for real. You know, again, it's mindset. It's Wayne Dyer said it. A lot of people say it. You know, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. It's you have to believe it. You know, you have to believe it, you know, for you to see it. Like, it's not the other way around.
That's exactly it. Yep. Seeing isn't believing. Believing is seeing. You're absolutely right.
Correct. And so, you know, maybe that's why, you know, you reached out, Bruno. Maybe that's why, you know, here, a perfect example. When I was seeing a therapist, I'd seen this video. I forget who it was. There's a lot of people doing some good stuff about manifestation. A lot of it is a little bit cringe, but a lot of it is really good.
Vibe Sesh 6. We have Vibe Sesh 6.
I know, Ariana. I know. Watch it. She's really, really good. And, you know, there's this exercise where you again, you have to believe it and you have to be serious about it. You're asking the universe, like, give me a gift today. And when I get this gift, I need to know it's from you. You know, we can call it universe, we can call it God. We're not going to go down the religious path, but whatever spirituality means for you. And I said, you know, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to believe it, and it's something's going to happen. And then I was at my dad's place, and I saw this this wild turkey. I'm you know, my dad's place is in Montreal, like right in the core of the city. We don't have like turkeys, like they're out in the country, like these wild turkeys. And he's by himself, he, she, whatever, in the parking lot. I'm like, what the hell is this turkey doing there? And where I used to live, we used to get them often. Like where my ex and I lived in the countryside, we used to see them often. So I'm thinking, is this it? But it's not a gift. So I repeated the thing. I'm like, okay, I'm not sure. So let's do this again. Later that day, I had an appointment with my therapist. I didn't bring up this whole thing. We had our session, bawled my eyes out. She got me like, I don't know, she really squeezed the crap out of me. And then at the end of the day, I'm about to leave, and she goes, oh, hold on, Ricardo. I forgot something. She hands me a kid's book. She goes, I want you to have this as inspiration to help you write your book. I'm like, okay, this is it. This is the gift. Like, this is it. This is it.
What was the kid's book? What was the kid's book?
It's the The Mule, the Fox, and the Horse. I think
Is that a good story? I need a good story to make a video. Is that
it's
a
you
good
know what,
story?
it's a cute little story.
I'm gonna ask you about it. DM me.
About a
Mm-hmm.
little boy,
Mm-hmm.
and it's sort of like it's about love. It's about the search for self. Um, Different
Search for self
personalities, like
too.
the horse,
Mm-hmm.
the mule, the
Mm-hmm.
fox.
Mm-hmm.
I think yeah. Is it the mule?
Wow.
I
So
don't remember.
Ricardo, so this search for self is very interesting for a kid's book to bring that kind of awareness immediately. That's interesting. Are there other books like this for search for self for the kids? Like the way that's
I
a
I
very, uh-huh.
I think there's similar stuff out there. My angle, and I don't want to give it away, but
Uh-oh.
you know, um, my dog's the protagonist, so she's in there.
Suki?
Suki's the main character, but it's with everything going on right now, right? With AI, with kids just from like 4 or 5 years old, they're on a tablet, they're on a phone, they're like
Mm-hmm.
constantly on screens.
Mm-hmm.
That level of influence,
Mm-hmm.
like I
True.
don't even know. I don't have kids, but you know, I've been around enough to witness kids. Like I don't know how much of themselves they actually know, like truly, instead of being influenced by what they see on social media, on TikTok, Instagram, whatever, right? And I think it's a crucial aspect of it. I'm not going down, the gender route. I'm not touching that. I'm talking about like who you are as a person, who you are as,
Mm-hmm.
your likes, your dislikes, your desires. What do you want to do? What do you like? I'm bringing it back to nature. It's. I think my challenge right now, and I'm almost done, is again I'm reworking it. It's about like what age range, and it's also a message to parents. So I just have to be careful with that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm playing around with a few ideas, but yeah,
Mm.
it's something yeah, it's a project I'm really
Hey,
proud of.
hey, Brent, can you, Ricardo, can you tell us about, because Brandon, can you ask him about the whole secure attachment thing and your thing about detach, that guys need to detach? Can you ask him about that?
Oh, sure. Yeah, no, we were talking about detachment the other day, and I could just give my take on that real quick. Yeah, I think, oh boy, it was like a bigger discussion about like, there's these different attachment styles that a lot of times come up in therapy and stuff where it's like anxious attachment, avoidant attachment, those are real things. And there's branches of each, I think. I'm not familiar with all of them. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a therapist, but I've definitely been to therapy. I've definitely heard about these concepts. Um, a lot of women I've been with talk about this stuff all the time, like, oh, I've been anxious attachment, or I was with a
Yeah,
guy who was avoidant, blah 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 blah, right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
it seems like the goal a lot of times is to get people to be like securely attached, right? And so, but I've been really into the Stoics lately, and their whole thing is it kind of centers around detachment, right? And I think
Mhm.
that gets a bad rap. I think sometimes people misconstrued what that means, where they think that means avoidant or dismissive or just indifferent or that they don't care or something like that, or they're stuffing their feelings. Or I've heard all these arguments against being unattached. But like for me, like what I've uncovered that helps me personally as a man, I can't really speak for women, but for guys, I think it can be useful where you're just detached from outcome, right? Where you get
Mm.
to know yourself so well that you're not anxious about, I need this to go that way or that way. Like I
Yep.
put in my best work and I leave the rest to the universe, man. And it's either going to go one way or the other. And I'm just going to make the most out of whatever happens. And I'm just going to keep
Mm.
showing up and putting in the work and examining myself in like, being detached from if she likes me, if she doesn't like me, if she's gonna cheat on me, if she's gonna like
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Like it doesn't matter. You do you. I'm gonna just keep examining myself, keep myself in check, and be detached from outcome. And I'm gonna play whatever hand is dealt me. And I think that's a good place for guys to get to a baseline of peace. What do you think about detachment if framed in that way?
Brandon, that was, wow.
I, like but before all this happened, like a couple of years ago, I knew nothing. I think like a lot of people, these are not terms that we grew up knowing, right? About like avoidant,
yes.
dismissive avoidance,
Pre-internet.
Yeah. Fearful avoidant, dismissive avoidant. You're anxious, you're secure, like, and then the whole narcissism thing that has like exploded. I think somebody told me a recent stat. Like,
everybody's a narcissist now.
Like labels.
Everybody's ex is a narcissist. Right?
It's just like
and your mother and your father.
Everybody. It's just everybody. But blame it on that. But that's the thing, right? I agree. There's some truth. I mean, I went and ordered Mark Levine's book. I think it's Mark Levine, Attached. Like, if anybody's, do you want to know about attachment styles? Like, I think he's the OG when it comes to attachment styles.
Okay.
From a few years ago, Attached. And he goes in depth about this, I mean, somebody else who I think is masterful at talking about relationships is Esther Perel. Like, if you've ever come across Esther Perel,
okay,
she's awesome. She's a psychologist who, her focus is on relationships. And one thing she talks about, she just boils it down to like common sense. Like, she talks about being together and being separate. Together, separate. And it's that constant like balance of, you do you, I do me. You have your hobbies. I have my own. You have your life. I have mine. And then we get together and we enjoy. You don't need to love what I do, and I don't need to join what you're doing. Like, that's, and I think we this gets misconstrued, and I think we're all trying to like, like the stereotypical, you're going to play golf again, or like, you have another girls' night out. Like, we get tangled up in these things.
Yeah,
and it's like,
agreed.
Can we just be a little bit more, I don't know, grounded and spiritual and soft? Like, as men, I think we struggle with being soft and being strong. Like, what does that mean? The soft mean I have to be feminine? No.
It's a confusing balance sometimes.
It's a confusing balance. And you talk about outcomes. Hold on a second. I think I have it right here. Hold on.
Ooh, what a guest, guys. Vibe Sesh.
Perfect timing.
Let's get a breather. Damn. Perfect timing for you, Cisco. This one was for you. I organized this for you. I told you to read the book Models. I got him this specifically for you, brother.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you got there, buddy?
This one. This is The Unfettered Soul by Michael Singer. Now, he's not, he's not everybody's cup of tea, because he can be a little bit abrasive, but he's like a slap in the face. Like, he's gonna, if you listen to any of his videos, he's a yogi, but he's not like peace and love yogi. Like, he's like, why are you doing that? Like, why do you expect all these outcomes? Why are you expecting something to go, like exactly what you said, Brandon? It's exactly that. Like, why are you expecting this to go one way? And why, and it's always the worst. Right? It's always the worst.
Right. You're imagining the worst. Exactly.
Right. You're almost like manifesting it to happen.
Exactly. No, but it's projection. It's projection. Yeah. And your mind is just there.
You're bringing that energy into it. Yeah.
Damn.
Right.
I mean, it's not an easy thing to do.
Ricardo, just so you know, this thing will probably abruptly end, and it's just, we just have to restart it. At 1 hour, it just cuts off. Like, you didn't get kicked out. Like, it'll end for all of us. Instagram keeps doing that to us.
Oh shit! So just brought up Michael Singer. Cut him off. Cut him off.
Because at some point here, it's just going to end, and then we're not going to get a warning. But then come back in, and we'll do another hour. Just letting you know.
Yeah, just letting you know. Don't go anywhere. All right.
Yeah. Where am I going? Where am I going? It's 3 a.m.
Ricardo, what do you think of the Vibe session? What's happening here? Do we need more of it? What do you think?
Yeah, we need more of this. We need more of this.
Yes.
We need like real talk, and not like bro, kind of talk. Like,
why can't we do yo bro?
Like come on, like, can we just be a little bit more? I don't know. I said this to a friend of mine. today, yesterday. I love that I have access to this now. Like,
To what?
I'm to this way of thinking, to this way of
Mm.
like regulating my nervous system. I mean, it's a catchphrase right now.
Mm.
Everyone talks about
Yeah.
regulating your nervous system. You know,
Mm-hmm.
what does that mean? But you know, when you're putting in the time and you're putting in the work, and you know, like you can catch like you said, Brandon, earlier, your mind just like it's on automatic sometimes, right? And
Yeah.
it's got your mind can be the scariest place on
Oh,
earth.
thoughts can
It's your
blow in
mind,
like the wind. You know, we don't have,
right?
we can only
No,
control how we react to them, right?
Mm.
exactly, exactly. But
Yeah.
people tend to believe like, oh, if I'm thinking this, it must be true. Like, no,
Right. It
no,
doesn't
there's
have
a
to be.
huge difference. No, it's like our
Yeah.
own, like these set of beliefs that for whatever reason, from childhood to teenage years to early adulthood, like there's a deep program that needs to be done. And I love that I can catch myself. Like an easy thing, like someone asked me recently, like, well, what do you do if you start ruminating? You know, like so and so says this. I said, you know what, honestly, I'm just gonna, like, no bullshit, you just stop yourself and it's like, no, 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 you're not doing that, you're not doing that, like, stop it. Like,
Hello?
Oh,
Lost audio.
We
Maybe
he
it's
lost
just lost
audio
his
for
audio.
who? We lost
For
your
Ricardo.
audio for Ricardo. I thought we were going to
He
go
might have
down right now.
accidentally muted himself. I don't know.
no, I'm good.
No. All right,
Alright,
he's
Oh,
there. Mhm.
a
Good
lady in the
now.
audience wanted us all to introduce ourselves.
Okay. I am the Vibe Samurai. I am here. I'm the host of the Vibe Sesh. Cisco.
I'm Vibe Samurai Jr. In training.
Protege. Hey, and you're the host of Vibe Sesh X. You're representing us on X. You're keeping the digital campfire hot
Keeping the
on X.
baton going. Me and Bruno, well, we're going to be on episode 46. So it's once a week on Thursdays. And it's going to end very soon on this live. So I don't know. I think we can pick it up a little bit of the history of Vibe Sesh. And now you're taking it here to Instagram. It's
Well, tell
it's
Ricardo
been
more because
transformative for me.
tell him the history because Ricardo doesn't know the story.
I just feel like it's gonna end on me right as we're talking. You know,
It's gonna
So
it's
what?
at the 1 hour. Cause
We'll just pick it up.
I'll get going.
We'll pick it up.
No,
I know it feels bad for the energy drop, but we'll pick it up. We'll pick it up. But go ahead.
end on a cliffhanger, man.
It's on a
It's
cliffhanger.
like,
Well, we met on
come back
X.
next week.
We met on X, and it was basically Bitcoin community. And he started hosting these spaces, and up to like 10 people can join at a time. He hosted his first show with Tim Sekou, cold storage warm mushrooms. It was a psychedelic Bitcoin weird conversation. It was very interesting. And I spoke for the first time, and then he invited me to co-host going forward after that. And we just met a tremendous amount of Bitcoiners over the course of weeks as we kept hosting shows. And then the Vibe Samurai would bring on special guests. And I looked at him as a craftsman of like communication. So I was taking it serious because I'm very introverted. And like me speaking right now, I would never been doing this before. So he just helped create a non-judgmental space where people can just be their authentic self. And he's curious about you, asks you questions, helps you just like find yourself, like find the voice.
Yeah, we ended on a cliffhanger, guys.
I knew it was coming. I was trying to be so quick.
you literally ended on a cliffhanger. You were getting so excited. But go ahead. Can you pick it up?
Yeah, but I kind of gave this analogy to Bruno here. Kind of like people are kind of like a campfire that is dying down the embers, right? And there's like a voice inside that they're not actualizing. So I feel like Bruno's a good spark to like ignite your campfire. So he's not like telling you what to do. He's not like forcing anything on you, but he's helping you discover yourself. So he's like provides that spark or adds the, you know, the fuel to the fire so that you can just embrace. So, and it's just a transferable skill of just communication and being authentic. So now I'm trying to host my own conversations to whoever shows up. And I just offer presence. I'm here to listen, and I try to lead with my curiosity on things you talk about and ask you questions. And it was a very simple formula. Like he calls that threading. So like as you're saying certain words, it's a potential rabbit hole, like one word, or like the giggle. He was like, Cisco, did you notice that? Like some people do things and you can ask why, and it opens up a whole beautiful story, you know, of what so I feel like no one else took it serious as I did, because I was like, I want that skill to just host a space and like people, because he'll get people going and the people would talk amongst themselves eventually. So he'd be a good, I guess, instigating it all and then doing it. And but naturally people just started, and then the community, people kept showing up. It was just beautiful. Like, and dude, it's a
Cisco.
range of like 30 to 50-year-olds too. So I'm a young man and I get to speak amongst Gen X, millennials, some Gen Z, very rare. I was thinking in a digital space of like Bitcoin, it'd be like people my age, but it was 50-year-olds, 40-year-olds. So I got the opportunity to learn wisdom, just so I'm trying to
So
listen.
Ricardo, so this is the interesting thing, right? Like he's 25 years old and he's hanging out with us, just vibing, right? Like so, this is kind of the environment that Vibe Sesh
He
has
talked about
made,
that.
right? And but
Yeah.
it's interesting. One thing, Cisco, you said to me at some point, you wrote me a text, and I remember it's just such a powerful thing to describe what's happening here, right? On Vibe Sesh, and like the ethos of the archetype of the Vibe Samurai, right? Someone who's very present and is listening carefully, is curious, non-judgmental. And you said to me, because you said you were talking about Vibe Sesh and what it meant to you, you said, and me as well, you said you didn't ask me status questions. You were talking about Andrew Tate and all the toxic masculinity things. I didn't ask you about your job, how much money you make, nothing. You didn't ask me status questions. You asked me human questions. There was no judgment. There was amplification. No one has ever made me feel like that. I mean, it's so incredible, that entire thing, right? So first of all, what is no judgment, amplification? First, yeah.
Oh, me? Well, you gave room for authenticity, and even you didn't know what to expect. And I kind of like how you said you're not in front of people, you kind of walk beside them or alongside them. And it was an opportunity to just, well, I guess we did have like kind of topics too. So sometimes it would blend to deep things about who we are and stories of our lives, but it was also like love of Bitcoin. It was always like an anchor. So things would kind of mesh very well. And, always good faith conversation. You weren't there to argue, non-judgmental in that sense. And then that's where people felt comfortable to be their authentic self. And then that was where the amplification came over time, because I got to practice and have repetition at it. And the only criteria was showing up Thursdays, 8 p.m., request to speak, and then we're going to have a good time. So a lot of people didn't take that opportunity. They just listened. And I certainly took the opportunity, and we were encouraging others. And then I've made great friends. I've even hired somebody from X, and he's joined my family's business. So it's a crazy networking opportunity, the serendipity of it all. And I'm very introverted. I'm just a hermit personally. So I needed this, community, basically the tribe. It's very important. So
But Cisco, it's really amazing you said that no one has ever made you feel like that. I mean, you
yeah.
have a lot of friends and family. What is
Well,
going on
people
there?
are on survival mode in my life. No one got time for that shit.
Mm.
Like dead ass. Your parents love you, but they're surviving. Not all the time you can sit down and I feel for you, bro. It's like, suck it up, buttercup, because bills. You're like, I get it, you know? So once you can kind of solve that problem, I feel then you can explore that. So I guess you can attempt to do it while doing it, but it's just not as, stress, I think, kills creativity. It just can really burden that potential. So I think you helped remove a lot of that by being in a non-judgmental person. And I felt good because I'm half your age, for example, and you wanted to listen to me. Like no older person wants to listen to me.
Oh, really? Nobody wants.
Dude, I mean, I deal with boomers and stuff and Gen X, but it's like, what do you have to teach me? Or like I'm
Wow.
being told
See,
about
this is
life.
what I'm talking about,
No one
Ricardo.
gives a
Like, I
fuck
see
about
this
my
guy is such a
opinion.
bright dude, and he's saying that no other Gen Xer or Boomer wants to talk to this guy. I would love to talk to Cisco for like 10 hours. You know what I mean? So, what is
It's
going
crazy.
on right here? That is crazy. But Ricardo, go ahead. What do you think of all this?
I think what hit home is when you said, people, we're in a day and age right now where, again, not to talk politics, and this is not just, in America or North America, but it's pretty much worldwide. At least I'm also hearing it here in Europe. Is there's so much, like it's like that's why I've even stopped watching the news altogether. Like I'm off that train. Like
Me
it's
too.
just I think there's so much negativity. There's so much, as much as everybody wants us to be united, I think it's a system that is made for us not to be. And to be in constant, like, well, you got to
Yeah.
pick sides. You have to pick a side. Like, really? I have to pick a side? Who says? Who says I have to pick a side? And then, but as just saying that, like Cisco, just saying that, like for some people, they get offended. And I just want us to have an open, like
Right.
common sense conversation. Can we just like let all this stuff stop influencing us? Like, I talked earlier about how kids are being influenced. It's hard enough for us as the adults in the room. Like imagine kids. But I'm slowly sensing like a movement from people like you, Cisco, who are like not pushing back in the sense of like something aggressive, but are maybe trying to bring us back. I think where we're headed with AI and all that stuff, I think we do need to get back to basics. I think having conversation, having, forums to do this, and where we don't feel afraid to speak up and to say how we feel. Like no matter what the topic is, whether it's Bitcoin, whether it's like, I don't know, your
Yeah.
relationship,
Or
whether
politics,
it's your
even.
work or
Politics,
politics,
too.
like
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
just,
Should be
I
anything.
think politics sometimes just comes in and messes
Right.
stuff up here for
But I'm
everybody.
saying,
But
like, yeah, I think the evolution of this, I don't think we're ready for this. But
no,
the idea would be we would be able to have, sensible, commonsensical conversations about everything, including politics, the hard conversations,
yeah,
right? So, hey, but like, like I'm very hopeful of things like this too, because I feel like right now the percentage of independents in the US, independent voters, is the largest it's ever been, right? So you got the like super left people, super right people, but there's a lot of people I think that are forming that are saying like, what the hell is going on, right? And I think more and more people are waking up. I don't know how fast they're waking up, but I just feel like the more conversations like this we have, and we
yeah,
can see how transformative having real, authentic, non-performative conversations can be, right? So take this out globally. If we increase the number of like Vibe Samurais, right?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
what the hell happens with this world? That's why I'm optimistic. Like if this continues, and I feel like, I don't know, I feel like it's growing. I don't know how fast it's growing, but we can change the world. That's what I'm saying. Like literally. What do you think?
No, I think we can influence the algorithms. I think to a certain extent, and I mean that literally and figuratively.
Mm,
Figuratively, it's like 3 a.m. But it's so if I just like doze off, guys, just
You're good. You're good.
You
like
did great, by the way.
it's
If you
like
doze off, I
this
just
is
wanted
it's
to
water.
say,
It actually is water. It really is water.
why not wine, bro? Well, next time bring some wine.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
later. I can't say I haven't had any, but um, I don't know. I've formed my own opinion right now, and whether this pisses somebody off or not, it's okay. Like we don't always have to agree.
Mm.
We don't, and I think
Hmm.
that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
There's like again talking to a really good friend of mine about like contrasts. The yin and the yang, like darkness and light. It's
Uh-huh.
the same thing with this. Like you do need, like for
Mm.
me, I've recently in the last
Mhm.
few years, I've seen like whether it's left wing or right wing, it's part of the same bird.
Mm.
Like, and we're not focusing on the core of the bird. We're looking at the
Mhm.
wings. Like, can
I
we
say
just,
two cheeks of the same ass,
there you
you
go.
know? Instead of two
There you
wings of the
go.
same bird.
There you go. There you go.
See,
Yeah, I'm stuck in cliches, Brandon, man. That's
let's
a good one.
see. That's a
That's a
good
good
one.
one. That's
Yeah,
a good
yeah.
one.
Or that's a Ricardismo. Dism. A
Or,
Ricardism. A Ricardoism.
Ricardism. Yeah,
Ricardism.
Ricardism.
What's your favorite Ricardism? That's his username, guys. His username is Ricardism.
Yeah, Ricardoism. Ricardoism.
Ricardoism. I had trouble.
Yeah, I guess one from it was stupid. It just started as a gag thing, um, about like how everyone says, um, think outside the box, right?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Like it's become such a big like it's just that again another one of those cliches. Think
Hmm.
outside the box. Well, while everybody's thinking outside the box, who the hell's thinking inside the box?
Mm.
Nobody's in the box anymore,
Like we're
right?
out, but we're not in.
Yeah.
And not to be metaphorical here, but it's the same thing with life. Like
Yeah.
we're looking at life externally, like, oh, I need this, I need that car, I need this house, I need the latest iPhone, I need this, but we're like, how about looking inside? Like
Mm.
I don't know. Like
I'm
again,
gonna Yeah. I'm gonna wait till everybody gets out of the box, and then I'm gonna go back in the box.
exactly. It's like let them, yeah. Don't follow the crowd, man. Just
Right. Exactly.
don't follow the crowd.
Mm. Yeah, let's Ricardo. I wanted to talk to you. So let's talk about masculinity. We mentioned already Andrew Tate. Young Cisco is here, right?
Yeah,
And I'm a little bit concerned, right? We need more spaces
yeah,
like this, but
yeah,
the other stuff, the hustle stuff is working. Andrew Hormozy stuff, right? Hustle, let's go, productivity, right?
Hmm.
And then you have the alpha Andrew Tate guys, right?
yeah.
And then you have like the super therapy males group guys, but we don't have like a group that like this that what we're doing right now. This is
It's true.
beautiful.
It's true. I mean, I talked to you last week about this one guy. I think he's doing a really good job. I mean, his focus is on relationships, and he's more geared towards talking to men.
Mhm.
Max Trombley. I think he's doing a great job. There's some masculine men out there who are talking about things that were in the past, tagged and labeled as feminine. Like I think that's where we should be right now. Like,
Mm.
um, yeah, I think we need more spaces like this where we can not be afraid to be judged, like you guys said earlier. And if we can, it's like what your song said. Like, what was it in your post today in the story?
The
Come
dark night
together
of the
or
soul. Uh-huh.
dark night of soul, and like coming together and I think that's what it's all about. I mean, it's just having open conversation and getting out of like patterns and stereotypes and programming and
Mhm.
just coming back to love. Like, how many men talk about love?
Mm. How many
Like,
how many men talk about love, guys, in your real life? I know zero. I know
Zero.
zero men who would talk about love. That is
like
crazy.
they'll talk about lack of love, or they'll talk about how whatever there was heartache, right? There was a breakup, and that's where
Uh-huh.
the love topic starts. But you know, and I'm not just talking about like love of your significant other, like your partner. Like, what about, you know, and I don't mean like love your sports team, you know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm talking
But
about
what about
like
love of self? If you had that
love
conversation,
of self, or like Brandon, you know, he's rediscovered something, or he has newly discovered something in himself, rock
mm,
climbing, and he loves that. Like it's love is it's like just, we just get it is everything. Like it is everything. You know, we just have a hard time like you know, like we love it. Like, why can't we just love it? Like we can love beer and we can love sports, but we can't love all these other things. I think it's just going back to that. Like, I don't know. I think as men right now, we're a lot of us, and I'll throw myself in there. We do get confused, you know, like being back on the market, so to speak. Like again, I'm so comfortable in my peace right now, and I am a little fearful of like disturbing that peace, right?
mm,
So, you know,
Mm-hmm.
when you
Yeah.
learn certain lessons, you don't want to be too guarded, but you do want to
mm,
set boundaries, and you don't
yeah,
want to repeat certain
yeah.
things. Um,
Oh man,
that's where I'm
resonating.
at. That's where I'm at. But you know, I also want love, like you know, relationship love back in my life. Like I love to love. You know, I'm a giver. You know, I just have to be a little bit more selective. That's all.
Mm, mm. Ricardo, what do you have advice you have for young Cisco? He's dating right now. He wants a family. He wants to get married.
Amazing.
Well,
Good.
you have any advice for him as he goes through his journey here in terms of
I think it comes back to what we said earlier about like not losing yourself, like not
mm,
over giving, not, you know,
mm.
it's that finding that balance. I'm just, you know,
I do have a question though. How do you guys like? Because I feel like I have like a lot of unconscious inheritance of like what to do, what to be. And I was talking about this with Bruno. Like, there's nothing discovered by myself or like molded by my hands for like what you want out of life. And I'm like just now kind of realizing it all. And it's like I'm like defending ideas that were given to me but not earned by me, or I don't know if that resonates, but like I don't know, it's been really tough to navigate that as of recent, like
I
um
think,
open.
Cisco, honestly, just the fact that you're questioning this and bringing it up is
Mhm.
already a really good sign.
Right? He does
Like,
this all the time. It's such a good.
I think it's a really good sign. Like, I think you're on a good path. Like, if you keep like the focus on that and always trying to like improve yourself, you know, not only physically and how you eat and how you live, but like how you think, what you believe, and always question. Like, always question. I think I don't know how many people your age are doing that. I really don't. I really don't. And I hope they
Mhm.
are. I hope you are.
Yeah, I have a
And
Good.
it's going to change, by the way. It's going to change. Like,
yeah.
I remember when I was 25, you guys, right? I mean, Brandon, Bruno, I mean,
Mm.
you know, I'm not the same person who was at 25.
No way.
You know, there's things that have
No way.
changed.
I don't even know
Like,
that
you
guy, but
learn,
he's so crazy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? No, really. Like, where was the self awareness? There's zero self awareness.
no
Yeah.
self awareness.
The only time I feel aware is in the past, 10, 15 years for me.
Everything's a lesson. Like, you've got to just,
Yeah.
everything's a lesson. And I know it's easier said than done, but
Hmm.
like, just life itself, like, we want the perfect life. We need this to be right. We need this to be right. It's just, life will be thrown at and it's just how you navigate it. Like, what do you take on, what do you let go? How am I going to learn from this, instead of like, you know, why did this happen? I don't deserve this. Like, I had many moments of that. Like, I was stuck in that phase of like, how could she have done this? Like, I don't get it. How could this happen? It makes no sense. Like, it makes no sense. And not to sound like overly cocky or confident about, like, you know, I had my part in it too. Like, I'm not saying I was perfect in the relationship, but I would never have, you know, gone down a path that would have, I don't know, caused that kind of pain on somebody or on her. And so you keep thinking, well, why did this happen to me? You know, I don't deserve this. And you get stuck on that instead of like, well, wait a minute, what can I learn from this? What can I learn from, well, her? What can I learn from me? What can I learn from this relationship? And you just, again, you just keep moving forward. That's, you know, you just got to not take things so personally. It's a constant battle.
I got two boys. You know, and like, you know, I'm in the business of raising two boys right now. And you know, I talked about that a little bit today, but one of my favorite quotes, and I shared this in a video, one of my favorite parts in a book, I think it's called The Tao of Parenting. It's a Taoist book about parenting. I love this book so much that I have a stack of copies at my house, and when I meet parents, I give them to them if they're interested. And one of my favorite sayings in that book is, children are not cups to be filled, but rather candles to be lit. Ooh. And what I take from that is, and I tell this to my kids, to my boys, I'm like, man, your job right now is to figure out, what do you love to do? What fascinates you? What gets you curious? What lights you up? What makes you want to spring out of bed and get right back to it? Go to those things, read about them, study them, try to build them, figure out how to be in that space, and you'll navigate that your own way as you go throughout life, and those might change, and that's okay. But get back to that all the time. I'm the happiest when I'm curious about something. And if you're curious about something, you're fascinated about something, you will probably offer a product or service or get a job in that better than other people, because you already want to be doing it, and then the work won't feel like work. So keep getting back. I mean, you do what you got to do. You get the 9 to 5, you do the day job thing. While you're doing it, sometimes you got a back burner, you got a front burner thing going on. I understand all that. We all got bills to pay, but always get back to it. And I tell my kids, like, your job is to lock in on that stuff and then try and fail and try and fail and get back up again. You will build emotional resilience. You'll build, you'll get confidence. You'll build all these things. Like, don't be chasing, right? Don't be chasing to try to fit in. Don't chase her. Don't do all this stuff. Hey, if you like a girl, you can go ask her for a number. That's fine. But don't, like, cause my 12-year-old man, he's all about the ladies all of a sudden, right? He's a real handsome kid. He's a real handsome kid. He's tall. He's already taller than me. He's a real handsome kid. And he's got like a line of ladies that are interested in him. I'm like, dude, don't get caught up in that. Like, focus on yourself, right? I'm just saying, like, focus on yourself. Yeah. And when you do that, you build yourself out, man, and you fail enough times and you get back up. You have that confidence when the storm comes. You're like, I can do this. I've done it before. I've had everything destroyed and I've built it back up again. You have that quiet confidence and that emotional depth, and you create that like strong masculine frame that's calm and centered for a woman to feel safe enough to step into it and be her soft feminine self. And then you create gravity, and then you don't got to chase nothing. Stuff kind of comes to you because you're the guy. And the sad thing is, but also the opportunity, is that most people aren't doing that nowadays. So even if you do it a little bit, you're way above everybody else. So you don't even have to work that hard to stand out nowadays, you know?
Cisco!
I love that so much, Brendan. I love that. You know, this is the exact same thing. This reminds me of something that blew me away from somebody I didn't even think would blow me away. It's just like, I you know, when you're scrolling, you end up in like, you know, the algorithms, you're looking at all these relationship stuff, and like you get stuck in it. And I fell on, I don't know if you guys know Matthew Hussey. Okay, another huge relationship coach, like millions of followers and whatever. And I felt, again, maybe this was synchronicity, serendipity, whatever you want to call it, but this hit home. He described, okay, he's like, take a sheet of paper, like just draw a box, right? Actually, a smaller box. And in the smaller box, that's like the one thing your main focus is. So whatever that is, let's say in this case, it's your girlfriend, wife, whatever, boyfriend, whatever, okay? And then everything around, like all these small little boxes, your pastimes, the things you like to do on your own, maybe the sports that you like to play, the books, the music, whatever. Like as many of those boxes that you have, it's so important. And Cisco, I'm talking to you about this because it's so important to have those boxes around the main box. Because if you lose the main box and you don't have many of the other boxes around you, you're going to be stuck with not very much. Like, that's why you need that diversity in your life of like things like you said, Brandon, that lights your soul on fire, that gets you, you know, outside of the relationship. And that doesn't mean like you want to be loyal, you want to be faithful. I'm talking about like things that interest you. And it's okay that you don't share the exact same interests as your partner. Like that's
healthy. Yeah,
because
you got to create.
Exactly.
It's like that's exactly what you're talking about earlier. Like people don't create enough space in their relationship, and like we're saying, we're not talking about miles. You've got to be enough space for somebody to miss you. If you're fused together, there's no space to miss somebody, right? And so, like, if you've got a mission that you're on, and she's got her thing going on, you can get back to the relationship, and there's a little bit of space to where you can actually miss and you can bring things back to it. But I think problem is people expect their partner to be everything for them.
Everything.
They're
exactly.
And that's right. And they have a very important role, but you got to have other places and people in your life that fulfill the other needs. Yeah.
That was a hard lesson for me because I put all my eggs in one basket. Like,
same,
you know,
brother.
she was going to be my, you know, and she even told me like, you know, we didn't have many conversations towards the end there. Like I was just like reaching. I was like reaching for straws. Like, give me something. Like, I don't get this. How could you let this happen? And it's like, well, you know, you did make me the center of your universe. And at first I'm like,
damn,
what the hell's wrong with that?
Yeah,
like,
of course I did.
Wrong with that.
That's what I thought you wanted me to do, right?
You know?
Yeah.
Like there is something wrong with that. Like there's the intentions are good.
Yes.
You mean well.
Yes.
But it's not healthy.
Dude, I've always thought like the guy's got to have his mission and she's right below it. She's very important. When you tell her all the time, you tell her that you love her. She's very important, but you got to have a mission above it because I feel like a lot of times women start to not feel safe when you make her your everything. It's like, who's driving the ship? Bro, like if I'm your everything, that freaks me out. I can't be all that for you. You got to have something, right?
You think that's going on subconsciously, you're saying? You think that's going on consciously, subconsciously?
I feel like it makes women feel unsafe when a guy abandons his entire anything and just makes her his everything. To where a lot of times,
but are they conscious of it when this happens? Are they?
I don't know because I'm not a woman, but I've heard women express this to me. And you know, like
I think it puts a lot of pressure. I think it puts a lot of pressure on them.
Yes, it puts a lot of pressure on them. Yeah,
like depends where they are in their life. Like, are they?
Yes.
Is it a career person? Are there children involved? You know, how active are they? I don't know, in the community, whatever. A lot of pastimes. And they're like, well, I don't.
Right.
If you're putting all this on me, I don't know if I can match that. Right. So
exactly.
It is a fine line. There's a fine line, and you've got to diversify.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, someone recently told me, you know, after we sold the house and like, you know, right away, you gotta think about investing your money, right? I'm like, okay, right now, my biggest investment is me. Like, I need to invest in me. We forget that. Like, again, we want to put our money here and like, you know, we gotta save here. Like, you know what I want to save? I want to save my peace of mind. I want to save myself. I want to save and invest in being a better human being, like to myself. And if I'm better to myself, I think that'll translate in better relationships and 100%. Better decision making. You know, exactly. I don't know how many people are actually. I'm like you, Bruno. You know, you said you're seeing a trend towards that. I think I'm starting to see it too. Like, just, you know, as my page is growing, I'm starting to, you know, hear back from people, and I love that. Like, I want people to comment back. I want to hear stories. Like, you know, I will take the time in responding back. And a lot of stuff is just either humbling or just sad. And, a lot of it is positive, but then, you see how many people are struggling. They're just, like you said, survival mode. Like there's a huge difference between surviving and thriving. Are you living or are you just surviving? I think that's where we're at right now. And hopefully we, slowly, if we all do our part,
what's the
we can help.
trend from the comments that you've been seeing? Like,
Good one.
like, well, what are you seeing in your comment section?
Oh, whenever I talk about like that, the video Bruno talked about, like the power of being alone. Like I had a lot of people saying, well, wouldn't you want to have, a partner? Wouldn't you want to have somebody to be with? Like, well, of course. Like ideally,
yeah.
But it's just that I think people just lean more on the negative. They just automatically lean on the negative.
I agree.
Somebody recently just said, like I did a video, like my analogy of the tunnel, like you feel stuck in a tunnel, but you just do whatever you can to like get out of it, like crawl if you have to, scratch your way out of it.
Yeah,
Eventually
I love that
get
video.
out.
The tunnel.
Better. Thanks,
the
man.
Tunnel.
And somebody wrote, you know what? I'd rather live in the tunnel because I feel.
Are you
safer.
serious?
Yeah. I'd feel safer in the tunnel. And I'm like, and it like I don't know, like an inner therapist in me wanted to come out and like try and help this person because I felt the sadness, but I did understand what this person meant by that. Like, I said, maybe that's you're sheltering yourself from, experiencing the ups and downs of life. And she's like, no, it's not sheltering. It's I just feel like safer. Well, okay, that's pretty much sheltering. But I said, my comment was like, come out sometimes, stick your head out sometimes. Like it's not so bad. But it's the leaning towards the negative. It's not the majority, Cisco, but I do see, like, I think a lot of people are struggling and they're reaching for help. And, I think there's so many voices out there, some good, some bad. It's where do we turn to? Like, who's right, who's wrong? There's some really large pages out there, some big, big, big voices that keep growing. And I don't know, like a lot of stuff gets, I don't know, we hear some negative, something pops up and about that one person, like, oh, did you know he or she is not as perfect as they claim to be? Well, I get it, but I mean, I like what you said at one point, Bruno, like you said, I'm not a coach, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a psychologist. I'm just here to, like, either share what I've learned in my experience and my journey. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just I'm just sharing what happened to me and how I got myself out of it.
Yeah. Not just sharing, we're walking together. We're walking side by
exactly.
side, exploring everything together.
Yeah.
I'm learning from you guys. I'm your mirror. You guys are my mirror. I mean, think about the mirror. That's the other thing. Like, I want to read, oh man, sorry guys. There was this woman who said, she said, it's amazing. I've been following you for a long time, and it's amazing the reset you've had, or the evolution you've had. Because I've been on Instagram for about 130 days. And she's been following me since the beginning. And she was like, I keep staying because I just, like you're evolving and we're seeing it, and we feel it. And that's how I feel. I mean, I'm a different thing now from 130, 40 days ago, right? And people are noticing even before I do, right? They're like, hey,
thing.
I noticed thing, like, hey, but I wanted to ask you, because on Vibe Sesh 6, and Brandon, you were there, but Ariana, our guest, she said that abundance is our birthright.
Yeah.
Right? So I was really thinking about this whole week. I was like, yeah, it's not about like for me, let's take my situation here, right? I'm the Vibe Samurai. I have almost 800,000 followers across platforms, but my life hasn't changed. I'm not like making tens of thousands of dollars right now being the Vibe Samurai, right? I'm not super famous or anything, even though it's a large following. I go outside, nobody's asking for my signature, right? But
Nice.
why do I feel so abundant? Nothing's changed. Why do I feel so abundant? And I think it's because I was, where did I write? I wrote this
Well,
down.
because you're a
It,
creator now. Like you're just
it's the
Oh,
wonder.
that's it.
you're radiating.
It's exactly what Brandon was saying. It's the
Creating.
wonder. It's the curiosity. It's the play. It's the creativity. It's the connection. It's the love. It's the meaning making. It's the awe. It's the wonderment. And I,
The storytelling.
yes. And I just feel so abundant that all these other material I'm not even thinking about. It's just really, really interesting. So what do you guys think about abundance as a birthright?
I mean, I think that's an interesting statement, but I agree with like the idea of I don't think the universe is working against us, and I think like what Ricardo said earlier, like you'll see it when you believe it. And like, why not choose it? But why would you choose scarcity? But people do, and I did. I did for years. I put myself in a small little box. I'm still fighting the conditioning and the layers of my old self, right? I'm still in that in between. I'm becoming new Brandon, but old Brandon steps up all the time. Oh, bro, we got to stay safe. We got to be down here. You can't be going out there doing all this stuff. And it's like I'm fighting against the universe's ability to say, hey, bro, you want abundance? You can just claim it. You can just believe it. You can actually go past belief to knowing, right? There's hoping, which is resistance. Then there's believing, which is a little less resistance, but there's still some. And then there's knowing. Knowing it's going to work out, right? It opens the floodgates, bro.
No matter what.
No matter what. Yeah.
Without
I
a
love
timeline.
those levels of resistance, man. I never heard that before.
Yeah. Hoping is like, oh, it's not up to me. I hope so. It's like, and then believing is better, but it's still like, I believe, but I'm not sure. But then when like, I'm not going to stop no matter what. I'm going to get this done. I'm just going to keep going. And I don't care how it works. It's just going to work out. Like, if I fail, that's fine. I'm going to keep going because I know. I know this is who I'm becoming. This is who I am now because I said so, right? Then it just opens it up. And then it's abundance, right?
Yep.
Yeah. But people
Totally agree with
get
that.
scared. People get scared, man. When you start doing out of the box, back to this box thing, you start doing the real out of the box. You start really being outside the box, people get scared. It's like that experiment of like where there was like an experiment. It was like there was like a pole and there's like some bananas at the top. There's all these monkeys. I don't know if you guys heard this one. Like a monkey would go up and get a banana, and then another monkey was going to go, but then they would electrify the pole, and it would shock the monkey. And then another monkey would try to go get a banana, and that monkey would go smack the other monkey on the head, and say, "Don't fucking do that! It's a shocking thing here." You know what I mean? So then eventually they had the monkeys policing the monkeys, and that's kind of how society is, man. Like people will police you if you try to get outside the box. There's like a bunch of scared monkeys,
Oh, this is Clip City left and right. This is a video right there, bro.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my God.
And it's like that with the politicians and the powers that be and these negative narratives, right? They'll spin it up. They'll get a couple people all freaked out, and those people will go around doing their bidding, getting other people freaked out.
Yep.
And they'll do the policing for them, right? They figured it out. They understand psychology. That's why we got to build this. We, the people. This has got to be grassroots from the ground up. It starts here, man. And this message spreads at the bottom. We got to stop asking for permission. We got to stop expecting these people to get all corrupted at the top to provide. We have to do this for ourselves, right?
Totally agree.
How do we do that, Brandon? How do we do that, Brandon?
Well, I think we do it by having these open dialogues like this, right? Because that's the other thing, like, all these things, whatever it is, like, it's all this police tight narrative, discourse. You can't talk about this. You can't say that. It's like, Fuck that. Let's just do it. If people get offended, we're not trying to offend anybody, but like, we need to talk about it, because all that does when you narrow it down too far and say these things are off limits to talk about is you push it to the darkness, and it breeds in the darkness like mushrooms, man. So you got to bring it into the light and say, well, why do you feel that way? Why are you racist? Why are you a homophobe? Why are you like whatever you? Let's not demonic. Oh, you can't. Let's hear their side of the story, so we can maybe change minds. Maybe we can have a discourse. Maybe, right? Bring it into the light. Bring it all into the light, right? And I think that's we just create these spaces so people can talk, and then we try to understand, right? Maybe. Just a thought.
Nope, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Hey, Cisco, go ahead, Ricardo.
No. I was just going to, it depends what, I was just going to talk about abundance. Like, what does abundance mean? For I think it's just different for everybody. Like, it's not necessarily just money. Like,
yes.
To me, abundance is, I think it just starts with peace. I don't think you can have happiness if you're not at peace. I think the basis of happiness is just being at peace, like, and not have all these layers. You talked about layers, like not going out in the world with all these, like, I don't know, like this gear, this armor on you, and you feel like I'm protecting myself from all these things that are coming at me because there's so much bad, there's so much negativity in the world. Why would something good happen to me? Right. So, I mean, I think if you have to be in receiving mode. Like, you'll never catch a ball if you don't put your hands up. Like, if you don't go for the ball, you're not going to catch it. Like, so you've got to, like, just, again, it's not just about money. It's about, what is happiness to you? What is peace to you? What is that worth? What is that worth? There's a lot of people talking about abundance and manifestation, and it always comes down, oh, look at the cars I have. I manifested this $1 million. Like, there's a lot of stuff out there. You got to take
Ricardo,
take everything with a grain of salt.
You said, what did you say? Abundance, receive. You got to be in receiver mode. And that just reminded me of one of my favorite sayings is, gratitude is the frequency of receivership.
Correct.
Right?
100%.
Goes in line with exactly what you're saying,
correct.
Right?
100%.
Yeah.
Wait, say it again. Gratitude is what?
Gratitude is the frequency of receivership. When you get into gratitude, you're automatically in abundance because you have everything you need. You have everything you need.
Currency.
Yeah.
It's the currency.
That's the currency, bro. Better than
currency.
Bitcoin. Better than Bitcoin.
Yeah. Yeah. The
like,
spiritual
gratitude,
currency, man.
appreciation. Like, one of the things a therapist told me like 2 years ago was, we need to thank her, my ex. I'm like, excuse me? we need to thank her? It's like, no, I don't mean literally. Don't pick up the phone and thank her. But, like, thank her for this happening now. Because, and if you appreciate being, this sounds weird. If you can appreciate the shit you're in right now, it means something better is coming. It means I am about to learn something and I'm about to grow so that something better is going to come my way. Like, it's like what my friend talked about, like, these mental gymnastics. And she also talked to me about, like, playing a game. I love that aspect of it. Like, you're playing a game with the universe, with life, whatever you want to call it. You're always going to get this. You're never going to be in master Zen mode, all the time. Like, we're human.
That's right.
So I don't know. I think there's that give and take. There's that, it's the contrast. The light only shines in the darkness. I mean, you need that. You need it. So if you want to manifest, I mean, it's the mindset. And it's the peace, and it's the belief that you deserve it, and that you're going to make this happen no matter what, and you're going to accept it. And I'm going to be grateful. I'm grateful. I'm sorry. You can be grateful for just waking up in the day. Like you wake up in the morning and like,
That's
why don't you
right.
start
You
going to
crave.
bed grateful? Like one of the things like Dr. Dyer, like Wayne Dyer talked about is that one of the last few seconds before you fall asleep, an important thing is what you're thinking about when you go to sleep.
I heard
If
that
you're
so
Yes.
just
much. Neville
if you're
Goddard.
just
Yes.
Neville
ruminating, yeah,
Goddard.
Neville Goddard as well. If you keep
Yes.
ruminating
That
about all the
specific
negative,
time. That
yes,
specific time is very important, right before you fall asleep.
exactly. So go to bed, try and like go to bed with a smile. Like close your eyes, smile. If you can't meditate,
Yeah.
smile and just send gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. I'm thankful. Thank you, thank you,
Yeah.
thank you. You got to mean it. You can't just say thank you. You have to mean it.
You got to mean it. You got to pick real things
But
then. Like,
but
I'm
pick real
grateful.
things. But it could
Yeah.
be like minor things.
Yeah.
It
Like
could be minor
Brandon. I'm
things.
grateful for Cisco. I'm grateful for Ricardo. I'm grateful for Suki. I'm grateful for, that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
come here. Come here. Let's bring her.
Suki. Hey,
Let's bring her in
Suki.
here. There she is.
Oh,
There she
she's
is.
screaming.
Girl.
Right there. Right
Look
there.
at that corgi.
Yeah.
She's been all over Italy.
Oh man, this dog. Never thought like a
Has
little dog like that
has an
can be
animal
like.
relationship taught you a lot?
Oh my God, so much.
I must
This goes
have
so
gone.
much.
Tell us,
It's
tell us.
like no, I mean it's a cliche, it's stereotype, but like the unconditional love, the loyalty, it's just sometimes she's been probably 2 years ago, probably one of my best therapy sessions. Like just if you just focus on the dog and you curl up next to her, you just whatever, if you can find a way to break the rumination of your thoughts with anything. And I think a pet, I mean, some people don't like pets for whatever reason. Stay away from me if if this is going out there. If you don't like dogs, sorry. But no, she's brought so much. She's brought so much to my life. Like just, yeah, like just something to love. And she doesn't have to say anything.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. It really is. Yep.
Something's going on with
It's
Vibe's feed. His feed.
Yeah. Yeah, he glitched out. But
I
how long
glitched.
have you
Am I still
I'm
there?
curious, like how old's the dog and how long have you had her? Is it like a recent
No, she's 5. She's 5 years old.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we had her together. So it was, but if there's one thing I was going to fight for,
Yeah.
it's going to be her. Like it wasn't the dining room table. I can tell you that. Like you want it, that's yours. No problem.
Hey,
You want the
Ricardo,
bedroom
so
set?
how do you feel so far now? Like you've been through on this big journey now. I feel like you're coming out the other side of the tunnel. You
Yeah.
feel like you're coming outside. I feel like
Oh,
you're
I'm
coming
out.
out. Oh, you're out.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm out. I'm
How
out of
does
that
it
tunnel.
feel, bro? How does it feel? How
Oh
does the
man.
future look? How are you looking at it? Are you just going with the flow?
Do
Tell
you have a
us
lot
what
of
you're feeling.
boxes?
A lot of what?
The
What?
boxes, right? He said have a lot
Oh
of boxes.
yeah,
Yeah,
a
the
lot of
box.
bodies.
Yeah. I'm in my own box. No, it just feels good when you get out of it. Like it just somebody asked me recently, hey, sent me a DM, are you AI? Like
I
I
get
don't know if
that too,
that's
man. I get that all
you
the
get
time.
that?
All
Like
the time. Yeah.
like that either means I'm doing something good or I'm doing something terribly bad. Like if someone is like, are
What
you
does that
AI?
mean? Yeah, what does that mean?
I've
Terribly
had that
good or
actually.
terribly
I've had that happen on dating apps. I've had.
You look too perfect, Brandon, man. You gotta,
No, I don't. No, I don't. It
No?
was a no. It was a weird. Yeah, I was taken off by it. But anyway, go ahead. You guys get that on the social media though, huh? People think you're
All the
AI.
time. Like,
Yeah.
bro, Chris
Wow.
Cuomo, he thought I was AI. He was like, if people say you're AI. And I'm like, wow,
He's like, what?
really? That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's a compliment. I think it's a compliment.
You think it's a
I don't
compliment?
know.
I don't know. I think they're
I
saying
think
that. No, but sometimes I go, hey, you're
Depends on the
using.
messenger.
They go, hey man, you're using ChatGPT. I know.
It's a
And
compliment. It's because you're too. It's because you're too good. If they wouldn't. I mean, they wouldn't say that if you sucked. You know what I mean? It's because you're too good.
Mm,
Yeah.
yes. Yes.
Yeah. I
If you
think.
were
Rejection.
garbage, why would they say,
This
oh, this is AI? You're
Yeah.
right.
it's
It's a compliment. Trust me.
It's a
compliment.
compliment.
Yeah.
Bro, I
We'll
used to
call.
get triggered because I was like, bro, I use AI. What's wrong with AI? Why do I have to feel shame for using AI? So I felt triggered. But you're right. They wouldn't say it unless it was really good. Right.
Mhm.
I'm
Yep.
with you there. What was the original question? Like, what was the original question? Like, would you ask me?
I forgot, but Ricardo, what do you think of AI?
Uh,
Let's talk a little bit about AI. What do you think about AI? You from the recruiting area as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
I'm curious about your take on AI. I want to talk more about AI because it's gonna
I'm
be
worried.
such an important part of the culture, what's happening in the culture right now. And I feel like this is a good example. It's not political, right?
Yep.
But it's about some cultural thing, and we should be able to talk about it. I've had a lot of I hate debates, but some things that happened on Vibe Sesh X where it got heated about this whole AI slop and do you use AI to do this or that, and you're bad if you do this, and you know what I'm saying? So it's like a very important discussion that needs to be had, and it's going to be even more important as AI starts, displacing jobs, and a lot of people are going to be in the dark night of the soul with their
Yep.
identities and all that. So, what do you think
Yep.
of AI, man? Yeah.
I am glad you bring up recruiting because I started seeing it like a couple of years ago. I'm scared of it. I'm worried. I'm worried. And I'm
Mm,
worried. I'm worried beyond the elimination of jobs. I'm worried about the elimination of brain cells in the
mm,
sense of like, what do they say? We use 10% of our brains.
mm, mm,
I think like the next generation, that's going to go down.
Mhm.
Like when everything is like, this is not even literally yet. This is beyond like at your fingertips. Like I'm old enough to remember when the internet started, like you guys, right? I mean, and it was this big thing. And imagine like just being told everything, like not having to. I hope there's a way. I do see the benefits in it. I'm just worried that we're going to be grooming some pretty dumb kids. I'm just worried. Like kids are
mm.
not going to rely already. I think social skills are being affected because everyone's on their phones. Everyone's on a screen. I mean, yes, we're doing that right now. So we're part of it,
Uh-huh.
but I think hopefully we're doing more good than bad. I'm just worried. I'm just worried, like as a human, how much of our humanity is being affected by technology. I know it's in this. They've probably said this. Our parents probably said the same thing, and their parents said the same thing as things evolved. But this is a little bit. This is different. This hits different. This
Mm.
is like I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it gets to a point where it's beyond scaling back. Like what's going to happen? Can someone just switch turn it off? I doubt it. That's I'm worried. I'm a little worried.
Yeah, the dependence on it.
No, I mean, I'll have to admit, I've used it a couple of times as like sort of a 3 a.m. therapist.
Why you feel a little embarrassed about it? Why, I mean, it's okay to.
No, it's not embarrassed. It just no.
Use it for that.
Uh, no, it was at my fingertips, and I'm like, let me try this, and it was shocking how good it was.
There you go. That's what I tell
Getting
people all
it's
the
getting
time.
better every day. It's getting better
Bro,
every
it
day.
is amazing, bro.
Like,
It
look at
is
some of the videos.
amazing. Hmm.
Like
I mean,
remember a year ago, you can tell when something, whether it was a reel or a picture or whatever, you could tell.
Bro. I'm gonna tell you.
Now
I'm
it's
gonna tell you.
less.
This. Look, I do these things called breakthrough calls. Right. All right. People book a call, and I
Yeah.
help them with some kind of problem. sometimes like I have information on the client, right? From they have a social media presence or internet presence, they have a website, some business thing. So then I take all the information and I say, this is my next breakthrough call client. You see anything interesting, anything to talk about? And one time, Claude is the best for therapy kind of thing, psychology. Claude was like talking about, oh, she seems this and this, and but you should really focus on this piece. And I don't want to go into what piece it was, but it was something from her website. And I was like, when I read it, I was like, oh, it's just normal, man. Well, why do you keep pointing to this? And he said, no, I think there's something here, right? And I said, okay. I just kind of filed it away, and then I went in the call, and it was exactly what he thought. He identified the problem before anything. You know what I mean? Like that is wild. And then I had to tell him later, oh my gosh, you were so right. How'd you know? And then it made sense when I re-looked at the sentence with the context. I was like, that makes sense. But Claude knew that before all of that, just from that sentence. It is crazy. And if that's happening right now, what's going to happen in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 7 years?
I don't know.
And is that a good or a bad
I
thing
don't
to
know.
you, Ricardo? Is that a good or bad? Because people could
I
be
mean,
awakened. Mm-hmm.
there's some good. I'm always a glass half full kind of guy. Like I think there's good. If it can help solve certain issues, I'm just a bit worried that we're not going to be using our own, like, humans are made, we're made to be imperfect. We're made to make mistakes. We're made to fail so we can learn. And I'm just worried about the learning aspect. I'm learning, like,
Mm-hmm.
having this information, like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I don't know, discernment, free
Mm-hmm.
will, things that, what, I'd like to make the decision, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to rely on, for lack of a better term, a robot to tell me what I should be doing with my life.
Mm.
Like, it could be helpful, but I'd rather hear it from at least another human. Like, are we going to be doing these chats with AI? Like, are you going to get Claude? Are you going to get ChatGPT? Are you going to, and we're going to have like this group chat? No, I'm a little bit worried we're losing that, the core of, like, human connection. That's
Mm.
I'm worried about that.
All
But
right, guys. Mm-hmm.
I see the
We're
good.
we're down to 2 hours. This is gonna shut down at any moment. But guys, Ricardo, thank you so much for staying up so late. That was an amazing show, guys. There are no coincidences. Tonight
No
was the proof. Tonight was the proof, guys.
synchronicities.
This
I
is
love you
awesome.
guys. That was awesome. Thank you, guys. I'll see you on the timeline. Peace.